Thank you, Madam Chair. Many of our colleagues have mentioned the goal of self-funding for the post office, and it's a worthy goal. But, Mr. DeJoy, it's not a goal that you pursued in your private sector companies, right? Self-funding of health benefits over 75 years, that would have been disastrous for your company, right?
Well, we had self-funding plans, but they were not advanced the way, actuarially for the rest of everybody's life. So no, we would not have had that.
And no other federal agency has this requirement?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
So here we're putting a burden on the post office that is extraordinary and perhaps fatal, and this Congress is hopefully going to lighten that burden. But this self-funding requirement, I think, has more implications. I think it would be better if we all agreed that we need to minimize the subsidies, because the cost of delivering mail in Alaska is clearly higher than in a more urbanized state, right?
It costs more to get to Alaska, and that's a different question than.
Yeah, but Alaska is part of the United States, just as rural citizens are part of the United States, and it costs more to deliver the mail the last mile to those people.
It does, but there's a process.
It's a largely unacknowledged cost because the price of the stamp is the same everywhere.
But that's the intent of the universal service, sir.
But that implies a hidden subsidy and a hidden tax within each stamp, because some people pay more, some people pay, everybody pays the same.
It implies a cost for the service as designed by the Congress. It's a service. It's not a tax. You have a choice not to mail something.
Well, most people rely on communication, and the private competition that you face is much more flexible at varying their rates. The post office has a flat fee pretty much for everybody, even though the costs vary widely.
Well, that is, again, the design of the system. I think more appropriate is we have not been able to address that pricing for 14 years until just recently. That's been most of the damage that's been done to the organization.
But it puts the post office at a systematic disadvantage, right? Because of the design of the program. It's flat rate postage, and it goes to anywhere, Alaska, Hawaii, the territories, same price.
Well, we talk about market-dominant mail products, which that's what you're speaking about now, which we really don't have other, competition in that area other than digital communications and our failure to evolve over the last 10 years. So I really don't understand what you're getting at.
Would FedEx, Amazon, UPS be doing as well if they didn't rely on the post office so heavily for last-mile coverage?
FedEx, it's a competitive product which we need to get better at doing. We have we have not evolved.
But they rely heavily on our last-mile coverage because we're the only people who provide that in most
That
cases.
is not really true, right? FedEx actually doesn't do, their last-mile delivery with us has been significantly reduced over the last year.
But they still rely on the post office to deliver, and you've actually been making money on the increase in package deliveries that have been sent the post office direction, right?
Package volume has been up significantly.
And that's been a silver lining in the cloud.
Well, the cost coverage on competitive package volume is different than the cost coverage on mail as the pricing is designed. And, sir, it's important that we recognize the difference in what it is you're identifying here, package delivery versus mail delivery, going to every address versus going to where we can price competitively, because that is a big part of the problem that we're attempting to solve with our new plan.
I think Mr. Dimenstein mentioned that the $45 billion that's been saved up for health benefits for employees, now it's only invested in low-yield Treasury bonds. It would be interesting if that money had been invested in the stock of Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. Would the employees be doing a whole lot better today than they are now with the low-yield Treasury bonds?
Yes, sir.
How much better?
Bazillions of dollars.
Bazillions of dollars. So again,
well, we're all familiar with the investment strategy of federal government's and Social Security investment strategy. that's been long debated, is you give up risk, you know, for a price. I mean, that's a whole nother discussion that you all have had for years.
Finally, Mr. DeJoy, you're a political appointee, a holdover. No one knows how much longer your board.
That's incorrect. I'm not a political appointee. I was selected by a bipartisan board of governors, and I would really appreciate if you would get that straight.
Well, how much longer are you planning to stay?
A long time. Get used to me.
As long as the board approves your staying?
That's as far as my commitment to see our plan through, I'm here until I can see it tangibly produce the results we intended to. I believe the board is committed to that also.
But that's not determined by you, it's determined by the board.
Well, it could be determined by me. I
Time
could
has expired.
resign, right?
Gentleman's
I could
time is
get tired of it. I have other things I can do.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you.